Hi, from my screen to yours, my name is Sammy, and in today's video, I'll be talking about what I think are the best dramas that have come out the first half of this decade. Obviously, I can only talk about the dramas that I've seen, so I'm sure there's better dramas that you think should be on this list for each year, but I can only go off what I've seen. Please let me know down in the comments below what you would pick for each year. And also, I've picked these dramas based on what I think are objectively like really good dramas and less so my personal enjoyment of them. But without further ado, let's get started. First year, I'll be talking about 2020. I have 3 picks for this year. First one I want to talk about is Alice in Borderland, which is a Japanese drama, basically about a group of characters who find themselves suddenly transported to different Tokyo, where they're forced to play a bunch of complex games in order to survive. Classic survival story. It's very fun. I think these stories pretty much always work because they're always exciting. And I think in the case of Alice in Borderland, personally, I especially liked that the games themselves were very complicated. Honestly, sometimes I had no idea like what the rules were. It's crazy how you would even understand these rules. Maybe I'm just dumb, but I would be like, wait, I don't really get how to play, and then I would be dead. It's maybe not the most original concept, but the way they told the story was very interesting. The characters are compelling and the world is very interesting as well, both visually and just how it works. I also think this first season does a good job of setting up the world and making you intrigued, and then it definitely ends off where you're curious to watch more. It's now finished with 3 seasons. I do think the 3rd season is like just okay. Definitely this first season is worth a watch. Next one to talk about is Kingdom Season 2, which I guess I'm just wrapping it up with Season 1 as well. The basic story is it's a historical zombie thriller. That in itself, I remember when it came out, I thought that was like super interesting because the zombie genre is pretty overdone, mainly in movies, but sort of in shows. Having this historical twist makes it a lot more interesting because they don't have the tools and the technology that we have today in order to combat the zombies. They kind of have to be creative, and also just how the zombies work is different. It's just a really good show with really good characters, really good writing. I think everything about it was really great. This is also one that I would definitely want to rewatch in the future. Last pick that I have for 2020 is Extracurricular. I believe all 3 of these dramas are Netflix dramas. And this one is a pretty original story. It follows this model high school student who is doing some shady things on the side in order to pay for his tuition, and it follows him and like a handful of other students in his school. This is definitely like a darker, serious show. I liked that it showed this like darker side of high school life and students without just being about bullying, which is what most of darker high school K-dramas are about. Although I did like the lead, I think the standout actors were the 2 actresses. Park Ji-yeon, who plays the female lead. This was, I believe, her breakout role, and she's now one of my favorite actresses. And I think Chung Da-bin also did a really good job. And she was really memorable because she has like a really sweet, like cute face, but she's pretty like vulgar in this show. Moving on into 2021, I also have 3 dramas that I picked. The first one I want to talk about is DP. I have talked about this before. It is a story about 2 men in the military. They work to find and chase down and catch people who are trying to desert or like run away from their military service. This is a drama that definitely you should probably check trigger warnings beforehand if that's something that you usually do. It is very dark and quite tragic. Very tragic, actually. Let me correct that. It's very emotional. It won't be for everyone and won't be like something that you might just want to randomly put on, but I do think it's very good. The actors are very good, like everything about it is very good, including the soundtrack, which I still love listening to. Yeah, it ended with season 2, which I don't think is as good as season 1. Season 1 definitely leaves you with a huge impact at the end, and I will never forget this drama. and I forget a lot of dramas. Next, I want to briefly mention Mouse. This is another detective thriller K-drama following a police officer trying to hunt down this murderer. To be honest, I don't remember that much about it, except that I enjoyed watching it and it was good. The female lead is played by Park Ji-yeon, who I mentioned earlier I started liking after seeing her in Extracurricular, and I liked her in this as well. The lead, played by Lee Seung-gi, is also good. If you like this sort of drama, then I would recommend you check it out. And last one, I will not elaborate into because it's Squid Game. As much as the later seasons kind of fell off, I still think season 1, if for some reason you haven't watched it yet in the year of 2026, it's worth a watch. I didn't like everything about it. In fact, certain parts of season 1 really pissed me off, but I would say objectively it is a good show, and I do like the originality of some of the visuals of the world. Next is 2022, of course, and I again picked 3 dramas for this year. The first one is Love Like the Galaxy, which I only watched last year, but it came out in 2022, and this is a historical romance between our female lead, who is very intelligent, bold, doesn't let people bully her, she can find ways to protect herself and fight back, the male lead, who is this cold general. That is a dynamic that I really love. I feel like it's only in like historical C-dramas I eat it up every time. If you like that dynamic, then I would also recommend Prisoner of Beauty and the recent A Splendid Match, which I just finished watching and it was so good. But anyways, I digress. It is a bit of a slower burn if you're mainly like a romance watcher, but if you like other aspects of historical dramas as well, I think this show does a really good job of balancing the romance. There's a lot of like family drama, palace drama, politics, some action as well, angst, like there's a lot going on and it's great. I mean, it's literally my favorite C-drama ever. It's what got me into C-dramas and now I'm obsessed with C-dramas. Overall, it just has a really good story and it's backed by really good writing and great dialogue. The main couple have really good chemistry together. I was and am obsessed with them. If you want to hear me talk more about it, you can watch the first video that I ever made, which is just me gushing about how much I love this drama. Next, I want to talk about 2521. This is a romance drama following our female lead who wants to become a fencer, and she meets this older guy, older as in like a few years older, not like age gap romance. Our male lead has recently gone through some financial troubles with his family and they're romance together. This is a sweet romance and I did like the characters and the story. It was just a fun watch. I love Kim Tae-ri as an actress. She's one of my favorites. She does a great job in this role. I didn't really like the ending. I think most people do not like the ending, but overall I would still say that it is a good show and worth watching. And last of 2022 is The King of Pigs. I have also mentioned this drama several times before. It is a thriller where suddenly there's this new crime case which leads our 2 lead characters to think back to when they were younger in school and the school violence that they experienced. I've mentioned before that I don't really remember much about what happens, except that I was like surprised at how good it was. I can't really go into specifics because I don't remember, but I remember that I felt, oh, this is like really good and I was really enjoying it. I feel like it was on the darker side even for this type of drama, so if you are into that, then I would definitely recommend this. Next, in 2023, I didn't really watch that many dramas, so the only one that I will talk about is Hidden Love, which came out 2023, but I watched late last year, I believe. It's a sweet romance drama, modern romance between our female lead who grew up having this crush on her brother's friend, and then later when they've grown up, they get together. This is a C-drama that a lot of people really love and have it as like their favorite or one of their favorites. Personally, I think it's not like that hyped for me, although I did really enjoy it. I love Zhao Lusi, so love her in the role, and I like the male lead as well. I like the brother. It's a good romance. It's a sweet romance. It's a good time. It's like a feel-good, cute show. 2024, I also didn't watch that many, but also the dramas that I watched weren't like objectively that good, so I decided to pick Pyramid Game. This one is about these high school students who are in an all-girls school. They participate in this interesting voting system where they vote for like students in their own class, and whoever gets the least amount of votes, I believe it's like monthly, whoever gets the least amount of votes is ranked like F, and then basically they become the target of everyone else bullying them. It's like an interesting concept. Our female lead, I believe she's like new to the school, and obviously she kind of upsets this system that they have going on and questions why this is happening. It's an interesting idea. I do think it kind of fell apart. I don't remember exactly why, but I think it kind of fell apart near like later in the show. I wouldn't say this is necessarily like that good of a drama, but it's like decent. I do like the cast, and this is also the first time that I saw Chang Ta and Shin Seo-gi from Singles Inferno act. I don't know if this is like both of their first dramas, but definitely if not the first one, like they're one of their earliest ones, and I did enjoy both of the acting, and I'll be keeping an eye out on them in the future. And lastly, I'll be going through 2025. I have 3 to talk about. Last year I watched a lot of good shows, so it was a bit harder to narrow it down to what I think are the best ones. First one that I want to talk about is Legend of Shanghai. I just had like so much fun with it. It's basically a historical revenge drama where our male lead, his entire family is killed, and so he spends like 10 years, I believe, like preparing himself to get revenge, and this is his journey to do so. There's a lot of action and suspense, great characters, great like story progression. There's a lot of interesting like sets that are kind of puzzly and like caves and stuff. I really liked the leads. I know some people didn't really like the romance or felt that it was unnecessary. I personally thought they were really cute together and I shipped them. And this was also the first time that I saw Zhang Jingyi. This is how I fell in love with her as an actress. Now she's one of my faves. I just think this was like just a really fun drama. I don't know what other way to put it. Maybe one day in the future I would rewatch this. Second C-drama is Love in the Clouds. This is a fantasy romance. I was pretty hesitant with fantasy because it's not a genre that I really find myself gravitated towards. However, this was the first time that I gave it a chance for a C-drama, and now like half a year later, having watched like a little more fantasy, I think I'm definitely kind of opening myself up to the genre. This one, the magic, it's like a visually stunning show. The magic is like fun and interesting. The leads have so much chemistry. Their relationship, it's like the opposite of a slow burn because they immediately are like flirty because they kind of have something that they want from each other. And it was just a really like fun dynamic, really great to watch, and just makes you like giggle. Also, there's all these like spicy moments that I have definitely rewatched at least like a handful of times. It's just that good. They deliver with their romantic scenes together. I keep mentioning that like this is the first drama that I discovered this actress because like a really big reason sometimes of why I will start watching a certain drama is because it stars an actress that I like, which is why I keep mentioning it. But this is the drama where I discovered yuxiao. Now she is one of my faves. And to end off this video and the year of 2025, the last drama that I want to recommend is The Price of Confession. To change the mood up a little, this is a K-drama thriller where one of our 2 female leads, she is living like this normal life. She has like a good relationship, but suddenly her husband is murdered and she is arrested as the killer. And while in prison, she meets this mysterious woman who people call the witch. That witch makes her a deal. The acting is really good. I really appreciated how throughout the drama, it kept you guessing what's really happening and who really killed the husband and what's going on, what different characters and their motivations are. So I thought that was interesting and really kept you curious while watching the entire show. It's only 12 episodes, but I think it was consistently good the entire way through and definitely worth watching if you're interested in a thriller. Those were all of the, in my opinion, objectively best dramas of each year from 2020 to 2025. I would love to know what you would pick. Let me know down in the comments below and what you think of some of the dramas that I mentioned here today. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love if you've subscribed to join my small drama community, and I'll see you in my next video.